Welcome to Amazing Grays. This show is dedicated to the idea that active, informed older adults are an essential part of today's society. We provide information regarding senior issues and concerns and salute individuals or groups who demonstrate that productivity doesn't end at retirement.
Hi there, welcome to this segment of Amazing Grays. My name is Ed Whitbred, and this morning we have with us the Executive Director of LEAF, that is the Lake Erie Arboretum at Frontier Park, Vern Peterson. Vern, why don't we start by you defining the term Arboretum? That's not necessarily in everybody's vocabulary.
No, and it's a difficult one for people to say from time to time. But basically, an arboretum is an outdoor tree museum. We at LEAF, we've been, in our 20 years, been planting trees to give a nice varietal to Frontier Park and to add, again, the diversity of vegetation and wild plantings in the park. And since LEAF has started, we've planted over 1,200 trees in Frontier Park.
You and I are Erie lifers, so both of us remember Frontier Park when it was vastly different than it is now. How did all of this come about? What was the initial phase of going from simply this park that was neglected for a long time to what it is today?
Well, I think the city, when they designated Frontier Park as a city park, their hope was that they would make this a recreational area for citizens to enjoy. And LEAF, being 21 years old and coming in probably 40 years after the park itself was founded, kind of changed not only the landscape of the park, but also helped to reconfigure Cascade Creek so that area was not as prone to flooding. We've put bridges over the creek. We've put over 2.5 miles of trails into the park, and what it has done is made the entire 34 Frontier Park more accessible to people. And as that accessibility improved, we added facilities for public outdoor experiences.
LEAF is more than just simply a name. It's an organization. It's a real function. How did it come about? How did LEAF come into existence?
Well, LEAF basically came into existence, largely crediting Dan and Kathy Dahlkemper as the co-founders of the Arboretum. They had been involved with another charity, BABA, which kind of rolled into LEAF, and the lands that LEAF has, the expanded areas, are the result of their merger with BABA. And ever since LEAF has been a standalone organization, we're a 501c3 charity, we kind of bill ourselves as the nonprofit partner for Frontier Park. So we have been the gatekeepers and kind of the caretakers of the park, kind of directing not only city service to meet the essential needs of the park, but we have enhanced and grown programs that enrich the community pretty much across the board. Not only kids and families, but adults and recreation groups. And now Frontier Park is probably the most utilized and used city park in Erie.
For good reasons.
Oh, absolutely.
What is the acreage of the park? You know, offhand?
It is 34 acres. Frontier Park was at one point in time the part of the Strong Estate Farms. There's still remnants of the orchards on 6th Street, just east of the tennis courts. But again, that land that became the Frontier Park and was gifted to the city of Erie, Leaf kind of came in and told the city that we would improve the park and take care of it to the best of our ability. And we've been working with them to do that ever since.
My wife and I have walked the park a number of times. I've often wondered, are the tennis courts part of your property, or are they still city property?
Well, in fact, everything that Leaf has constructed and built in the park is city property. We have a consent agreement that we would develop the park in different aspects. We built that Arboretum, or the outdoor classroom amphitheater. We have that tree gazebo, the labyrinth in our building, but ultimately all of those assets will revert to city ownership at some point in time. And
let's see if we can take like almost a visual tour, not a virtual tour. Carol and I will often walk up Bayfront Parkway and come in off of Bayfront Parkway, and all of a sudden you're at a crossroads or a Y, one taking you across a bridge and the other up the hill. Let's go across the bridge and just take me through the park from there.
Well, you're crossing the bridge and you're headed south along the Bayfront Highway. Again, we've been working with the city of Erie. We acquired a former maintenance building on the north side of the park along the Bayfront Highway, and we've kind of completely refurbished that. We use that as a center of operations, and it's also the staging ground for us to have our summer help through the Summer Jams program. But as you continue down that parkway, there was a tree, a line of diseased and dying pine trees. We worked with the city of Erie, First Energy, and Dahlkemper Landscaping to have all of those trees removed and replaced with more appropriate, low-growing native species that would flower in the spring. And just kind of, for anyone entering the city from the west side, it kind of is the welcoming mat for the city. So we've planted 30 new trees along the Bayfront Highway. We have a wildflower strip that we've planted. And so as you get up to 8th Street,
we should jump in and mention that that's the area where the Jazz and Blues Festival is.
Immediate.
People may relate to that haven't been there.
Yeah, immediately to the west of that corridor along the Bayfront Highway is the traditional home to the Blues and Jazz Festival. The Blues and Jazz Festival has also expanded its footprint, and last 2 years has tried to utilize everything in the park, bringing a sustainability village in, using our building for the Northwest PA Art Association art show, and even use the amphitheater for theater and small troupe events.
Okay, we're now at 8th Street. Where are we going to turn?
So as we walk along 8th Street, both branches of Cascade Creek enter the park on the 8th Street side. But what we have also managed to do is we've cleaned up that large fishing area, which is traditionally known as the East Branch of Cascade Creek. Again, 3 bridges crossing the creek area. As you're walking down across 8th Street and almost north of Romelo's, we erected a tree gazebo that's down very close to the creek and is a very popular spot for weddings and gatherings. Also, that area between the tree gazebo and 8th Street is home to our outdoor summer movies. And that is one of the family favorites that we host usually in August, but not this year because of COVID.
Yeah, lots of stuff gets passed this year.
And then also that 8th Street corridor has become the home of our farmers market, which we piloted this year, and we've had 2 so far, and they've been extremely well received. And so that the 8th Street side, again, we utilize for the farmers market. And we have up to 10 or 20 vendors there. So as we go closer to the 8th and Seminole area, and we turn up Seminole, there are a couple paths that take you down into the heart of the park, down onto the floor of the park. One path that goes to the north goes along the labyrinth, which is it's kind of a draw and a very nice area for kids.
Kind of define that for folks who are not familiar with the term.
It's very akin to a stone pathway or maze, again, without the shrubbery or the hidden idea of a maze, but it's a circular stone path that you can enter from one side and walk through and reach the middle and walk back out. There's a couple benches and seating areas around it, and it was originally helped.
It's kind of a meditation area, if you.
Yeah, it was developed by the Carrie T. Watson Center, but again, Leaf maintains all of that area. So continuing on down along Seminole and coming around the bend of the park, we come to an area that was traditionally known as the sled riding hill area of Frontier Park back in the day.
That's going back a ways.
But it's still a sled riding hill favorite location. The only difference being is that we have developed some garden and seating areas along that hillside that make it much more favorable usage in the summertime. Some great vistas. We have the Benjamin Winter Garden. We have this new daily bench seating area. And again, it's a very, very popular area for people looking for a quiet place in the park to just sit and relax sometimes. Mm-hmm. So as we continue around the park and we get down to the 6th Street area, that's where the park and the city have made a concerted effort to develop the play and recreation areas. So as you come around to 6th Street, there is an outdoor playground. Leaf got assistance from Pepsi to develop that playground area. Immediately to the south of the playground is where we are building our ground level slide project known as the Griff, which I think is going to be a great addition and tourist destination for folks visiting area. And then immediately to the east of that is our outdoor classroom or amphitheater. And the amphitheater, again, gets a wide variety of usage. Not only does Leaf stage summer concerts there, but this week, the Prep and Villa theater groups will be having a farewell theater event for their seniors. Shakespeare in the Park is conducted there by Gannon. And so that outdoor classroom or amphitheater gets a lot of usage. There's ample hillside seating, and we've had crowds in excess of 1,000 people attending outdoor concerts at that area. So,
and from that point, you go down the hill and you're back where we started.
And you're kind of back where we started, but also, on that 6th Street side, not only did Leaf build an education center, which is a popular area for, again, small weddings, receptions, bridal showers and the like. And then, of course, the city tennis courts kind of going all the way to the east end of the park on 6th Street. And the city tennis courts are, of course, the home to the city rec tournament, as well as home to 5 or 6 area tennis teams.
You have done a wonderful job of taking us through there, and we've shown some pictures as we've gone along. Let's talk about some more practical things. How is the management of the park structured? Now, you're the executive director, the Grand High Poobah. So what's the pyramid look like from there? Board of directors, I assume?
We have a board of directors. I think currently we have 16 or 17 board members. Some of them have been with Leaf for quite a number of years. Some are new to Leaf, but all bring a skill set that not only supports our development, but it also supports our programs. Going, I guess, down the food chain, but I always kind of look at my coworkers as exactly that, coworkers. We kind of collectively make decisions. We have two new young additions to LEAF. We have a project and design manager, Jamie Kime. She's an Erie native. And then we've also hired a program development manager, Rosa Showers, and again, another Erie native. And I truthfully believe these young ladies probably will be the face of the new leadership taking LEAF forward into the next 20 years. And also, in addition to myself, we do have a summer groundskeeper, former educator in the Iroquois School District, and he also helps manage our summer help as well as our volunteer programs.
You have described an organization that's involved in an awful lot of physical things happening in that park. Who handles and how is the scheduling of events handled? Because you must get a lot of requests and somebody's got to play traffic cop for that kind of thing.
Right. Well, again, because the park is city property, I work with a fellow from the city named Dave Rocco. And again, there are all types of events that take place in the park that are peripheral or parallel to what we're doing. I work with scheduling all of our events with the city of Erie, but the building and the amphitheater kind of are our exclusive domains. And so, again, when it comes to scheduling our year-round festivals, our concerts, our arts in the Arboretum, I work with our staff and we do all of the scheduling, as well as all of the scheduling for the rental of our LEAF education facility.
So that we don't lose track of it, you've got some events coming up that feature Tom Ridge. Have I got that right?
Yes, absolutely. One of the other broad initiatives that was brought to the table, our board of directors this spring, was a program to help plant 250,000 trees in Erie County in a 5-year.
250,000, did you say?
One for every Erie County resident.
Okay.
So what we did was we've developed a kind of a sub organization called Relief that operates under our umbrella. And the first step in this initiative is part of a pivot to our school-based education programs where we're going to plant potted seedlings and deliver them to Erie city schools as well as some county schools, and then give them all the instructions they would need to plant these on their property, and in some cases for students to take them home and plant them on their home in their backyards. Again, we've been developing a curriculum in conjunction with the City of Erie School District, but we've also enlisted the help of quite a number of community groups, the Sons of Lake Erie, the Boy Scouts, and other planting and gardening groups. And again, Governor Ridge, we spoke to several months ago about the possibility of him being the community spokesperson for this initiative. And I believe he's agreed to do that. We have a September board meeting that he's going to sit in on, and hopefully have him be the voice for this initiative.
Super. Let's not get out without talking about funding. What are your functional funding streams? How do you exist? Because you've got, at this point, obviously some things that need to be maintained.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that has been, so disruptive to our society and so many other businesses is this COVID-19 plague, pandemic. And, the matter of fact about it is that it's turned our business model on its head. Along with so many restaurants and the airline and travel industries that are suffering greatly, part of our revenue stream fully 25% of it was from the rental of our building, and our building rentals came to a complete halt during the shutdown, the initial shutdown for the pandemic in Pennsylvania. And even now we're making provisions where we rent the building only probably 25% of what we used to. So we're making adjustments and changes to that. We're making sure that our facility is 100% cleaned and sanitized for every renter. And we're hoping that because of that reputation, we'll be able to continue on with successful rentals. But for the most part, our revenue stream is largely based on private and corporate donations. I write a variety of grants for project development in the park, but our basic operating costs are supported through either memberships, Erie Gives, year-end fund drives. And again, because we're only 4 part-time people, we haven't really felt the brunt of a lot of the economics that have kind of beleaguered a lot of other businesses in town. And again, along with other entities that are suffering, the city of Erie has been running deficits the past few years. And so again, as the frontline gatekeeper, we try to maintain the park as best we can and only call on the city for the heavy lifting. And it seems like it's a symbiotic relationship that works well for us. In the past, we had a larger budget that we would devote money for tree clearing and pruning. And now we just kind of do the best we can with what we have.
One of the things that you see when you walk through the park, you'll see at the base of any number of trees, a small plaque saying what this tree is, a little bit about it, and quite often a memorial. I'm assuming those are available, and if so, tell us how that works.
Well,
assuming that that's a revenue stream for you.
Oh, absolutely. And, during these times, we've seen an increase in the number of people either requesting to have a plaque on an existing tree or plant a new tree. We also have memorial pavers that are dotted around our building and around our kiosks. That's also been an area where people can make a contribution in someone's name and be able to come into the park and kind of visit and see that. The trees, and we also have benches that make for wonderful quiet seating areas, some of them with great vistas and overlooks of the park, and others with just a nice, quiet, shaded place to sit. And all of that information is available on the LEAF website. All they would have to do is check under how you can help and how you can donate and ground sponsorships, and the whole transaction can be handled online. But when it comes to selecting trees and locations for the benches, I always take time with anyone who's interested in purchasing a tree, helping them select an appropriate tree for the park and an appropriate location, in the same way with the benches and the pavers.
We have blown through our time. One last question. Do you use a lot of volunteers?
We have utilized and relied heavily on volunteers in the past. Again, part of the COVID times has kind of limited volunteer groups. We've worked with Gannon, Serve Erie, as well as independent groups. But if people are interested in possibly volunteering or helping out at LEAF, they're always welcome to call us at 453-5323, or they can send me an email at vern@leaferie.org, and we'll try to get you involved as best we can.
Well, like I said before, as lifers, we understand just what an amazing place that LEAF has become. You are welcome back here anytime you want to give us a call, and we'll do this again.
Well,
and we have run out of time. Vern,
thanks so much for this opportunity, Ed.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
Thank you for watching Amazing Grays. We are an all-volunteer organisation and are always looking for people to help us produce interesting programmes.